Okay, now that I've shown you how to do functions, the next thing I want to show you is how to work with lists, because we're going to use lists as we generate insults for our users who guess the wrong number. So first off, I'm going to create a new project here. So I'm going to go click here and just say new trinket and new Python trinket. And I'm going to label this fun with lists to show you what lists are. So lists are different from individual variables. Imagine we had a bunch of students in our class. So we had student 1, and our student 1 was named Reed, and student 2 was named Fred. And then we had student 3 equals Sally. Well, we could keep doing this for all the students in our class, but you can kind of imagine how challenging this might be. Like if we had 25 students in our class, we would have to have 25 different variables. We'd have to keep track of the different variables. And there is a better way to do that, and that's with something called a list. So a list is kind of like a variable, but it keeps more than one thing. It's like a series of things. So like a grocery list or something like that. So let's give you an example of what a list might look like. Fruit list, and I'm going to start by saying it's the empty list. The way you tell the computer that you are working with a list is with these two brackets here, and then you can put multiple things in the list. So for example, instead of saying it's empty, I could say the fruit list contains strawberries, and then it also contains another item, which is bananas, and it also contains grapes. So now I have this item of lists, and I can say print fruit list, and it will print all of them. So here it goes, it prints all of them. Now the nice thing about having a list is you can also print individual items from the list. So instead of saying print the whole thing, I can say print just the first thing. Now the way lists work is that the first item is always 0, 1, and 2. Programmers like to start at the number 0. So fruit list 0 is going to be strawberries. So if I say please print fruit list 0, it's strawberries. If I try to print fruit list 1, it's going to be bananas 0, 1, 2. So let's go ahead and do that. And if I try to print fruit list 3, it's going to be grapes. Oops. Oh, it gave me an error because there's no third item in the list. This is 0, 1, and 2. So I should have turned this into 2, and then it will give me grapes. Now, one thing that's nice about lists is you can also add things to a fruit list. So you can just add more stuff. So fruit list dot append, and I'm pretty sure it's in parentheses, but I'll find out in a second if I need parentheses or not. Let's say, what else is a fruit? Watermelon. All right, let's see if this works. So we're going to try this. And it, I believe, worked. So it fruit list append watermelon, and now let's see if I can say print fruit list. Let's see what the whole thing looks like, and see if I added watermelon. And I did. So append, one of the commands you can do is you can say append, and it will add something new to a list. So that's pretty useful. And what else can you do with a list? So I've shown you that you can call individual things from a list. You can append new things to a list. I know there's a way to delete something from a list too, but I don't remember how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and look it up. I'm going to do a new tab. How to delete an item from a list, Python 2.7. All right, and clear, pop, and remove are methods of list. You can also remove elements from the list with delete statements. Simply specify, so 0, 1, 2. So here we go. Clear, pop, and remove. They all do different things. Remove all items, clear. Remove an item by index and get its value. Remove an item by value, and remove items by index or slice. So let's see if they give me some examples. Here's our list range 10. Clear gives me that, okay. And print L gives me the whole list. We know how to do that. Pop 0 takes off the 0 item, the first item. And pop 3 removes the third item, okay. I'll show you what all these mean in a second. And you can remove by value, so remove Alice, all right, I can see how that works. And you can also, there must be a delete. Yep, delete the item that you want. Okay, so great. So let me show you how that works. So let's go back to our program, and del is the what I'm going to work with. So I'm going to say print list, and now I'm going to say fruit list dot del, and I'm going to say 0. 0 would be strawberries. So let's see what happens if this works. Print fruit list. Okay, so hopefully it will delete item 0. Let's see if it worked. No. Del 0, why did that not work? Fruit list dot del. Let's go back to remove an item. Del needs to be in brackets. Okay, so that's not what I want. So put it in brackets, del 0. Did not like that either. Okay, I wonder why not. Let's go back to our remove an item. Del L6. Oh, del. I see, it's actually a function. So I need to say del, then the list, and then the item. So it's going to be del, the list, all right, now let's see what happens. Okay, it worked. So what it did is it deleted strawberries. So the first time it printed the fruit list and it had strawberries. The second time it printed the fruit list, and since I deleted item 0, it got rid of strawberries. If I delete item 1, strawberries is there, but now bananas is gone. Okay, let's see, I probably can also, well, actually that's pretty good. I can add something to the list. And how do I insert something into a list? Wonder if there's a function for that. Let's just check it out. Del list range del list del. Is there how to insert into a list? Okay, go back here. Insert an item into a list. Python 2.7. Let's see what it does. Add an item. Okay. Insert. Got it. So list, insert method. So list val, okay, pretty sure. I have to just look and see how they do it. So if here's my list, and then I say val.insert 3 and O. Oh, that's kind of cool. So you can do, no. So I can do list, fruit list, dot insert, and I'm going to say I want it in position 2, and I want it to be, what else is a fruit? Why am I blanking on fruits? Pomegranates. Pomegranate, if that's how you spell it, it is not. Okay, so let's see what this does. Fruit list insert and pomegranate. Who knows if this is going to work? Please work, and it did. So it inserted at 0, 1, 2, it inserted pomegranate. So there's lots of things you can do with lists, but the whole idea is that you have an item, a list of things, and you can insert new things into it, you can delete things from it, and you can ask for random things from the list. We'll be working a lot with lists, but right now we're going to be doing something pretty basic with a list, which is we're going to just choose a random thing from a list. So let me show you how we're going to do that. First, we'll create a list of fruits, and then we'll, let's pretend that kidney pie is also a fruit. It's not, in case you're wondering. Now, we're going to say, oh, here's something else you can do. Sorry. What is the length of the list? So print len fruit list. So this tells us how many items are in the list. So it says there are 5 items in this list. So let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, and and 5. So now if I wanted to print a random item from the list, let me show you how I'm going to do that. First I'm going to say import random, and so I'm going to have my tool of randomness here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say print fruit list, but not the whole thing. What I'm going to say is I'm going to say I want to print an item, and what I want to print is random.randint, and it goes from 0 to len fruit list minus 1. Okay, this looks so confusing, but let me really help you understand what's happening here. First we'll run it a few times. Each time it's going to give me a different random fruit. Here's how it works. I say, please get from fruit list a random item. Okay, which random item do I want? Well, I want you to choose a random integer, and the random integer needs to be between 0 and the length of the fruit list minus 1. So it needs to be a random item 0 to 5, because there are 5 items in the list. 5 minus 1 is 4. So please print fruit list 0 to 4. So this will work for any list we want, and it will return a random item. So, and it really is going to work. Check this out. I'm going to add a few more items. So after kidney pie, for another fruit, I'm going to go coconut, which is technically a fruit, and you probably also know this, but a tomato is a fruit as well. So here we have our fruits, and if we print our whole fruit list, it prints the length, so it's 7, right? And then it's choosing a random item, and we could do this as many times as we want. Let's do it 10 times. I equals 0, while I is less than 10. This has to be indented because it's underneath the while. Print fruit list, random 1, I equals I plus 1. This is going to print 10 random fruits. Ready? Here we go. 10 random fruits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You want 10 more random fruits? Okay. There's 10 more random fruits. We can get rid of this print length fruit list. And every time we do this, we're going to get a list of 10 different random fruits. If I wanted to add more items, I can add more items. And now I can still do 10. And you can see it's printing 10 random things each time. So go ahead and create this. Make sure you understand how it works. In particular, spend a moment thinking about this length of fruit list minus 1. It's a really important concept, because if I just said length of fruit list without doing minus 1, sometimes it's going to get up to, let's say there are 8 items in the list. Sometimes it's going to choose 8, and I'll get an error. So I got an error right there. List index out of range, so I need to do minus 1. Okay, and then it will work every time. Okay, so go ahead and create this. Make sure you understand how it works, because we'll be using this very functionality in our next video about adding insults to our guess the number game.